Puck is dropped and we're underway. I'm very echoey right now because we are in.
Oh,
Well, I'm in the living room now. This is like how many rooms of my house can I record a podcast in? I have a
and
studio
which one works
upstairs.
the best?
Studio upstairs that I built specifically for this kind of stuff. No internet. And
Yep.
ask me how long I've had all the equipment to put the internet into that room. Oh, only 3 weeks.
I'll
Look,
ask.
it's right here. It's right here.
You haven't
All
even
the stuff.
taken it out of the package.
It's not even out of the package, boss. It is still in the package. I've YouTubed how to use all this stuff that's in the.
So
in the
you're
package.
just in the studying mode right
Well,
now.
see, here's the thing. I buy things, and I'm like, I'm not a handy guy, right? I'm not a guy that's going to do it. I paint. That's about as far as I go. But if you start talking about electrical wiring, internet wiring, I'm not confident. I've done the YouTube research, but also at the same time, I know that once I start it, I'm going to lose my stuff. It's a family show. I'm going to lose my
Family show.
stuff.
We're gonna cut down.
Cut that out in post. I'm going to lose my stuff, my stuffing, immediately. And I'm going to have sweating. It's going to be a whole production. So I work good under pressure. So next time, I promise you, the next time that we do a podcast, I will have wired internet inside of a studio. Now I'm in the living room. It's, we're going to hear this you might hear litter boxes. I don't know what we're going to do.
I think it sounds good on my end. But
it sounds good, but there's too much space.
yeah,
The palace that I live in here is too large.
you need to get a professional studio like me.
Well, I have one. I just don't have internet in there. The only room that I actually need internet in, it doesn't work in there. If I walk through the threshold, I have like 300 megabytes a second. I walk through that threshold, 2. It's done.
Switched.
Jesus knows that I'm trying to do. We're trying to.
We're trying to talk hockey here.
Trying to talk hockey. The people need it.
And
the people.
The internet
dying.
is not letting us.
Wherever I go, they're like, "Oh, Puck Chalk Pod, you and Ace." Something
When's
like
the next
that.
episode?
Oh, I can't wait to sleep with both of you guys. It's unbelievable. And I'm like, no, stop. He's married. And I'm like, look, I was going to do this outside. I was going to do it outside, but I was like, ooh, it's cold. And you know what?
Yeah.
There's a nip in the air. And there's such a nip in the air. And that means 2 things, Ace. One, it's cuffing season.
Your nipples are hard.
I thought the sweatshirt was big enough or thick enough. Thick with 2 C's. It's cuffing season. You're cuffed. I'm uncuffed. You know more than anybody that I'm uncuffed. You know that. We're not going to get into our personal issues, but
you're officially uncuffed.
I am uncuffed, and it's cuffing season. I don't know if I want to be cuffed. We'll see how the cuffing goes. I don't know.
Oh, look at that. We have our first caller. I didn't know we were live.
Oh, jeez. Tara in Littlestown, how are you? Oh, jeez. All right, now I'm going to be killed.
Don't worry. We're going to edit that out, just like we're going to post this one on YouTube and Apple.
Hey, leave it in. There's a nip. There's a nip. Can I go back to the nips? Nip in the air. That means 2 things. Cuffing season. Get cuffed if you're not cuffed. I'm uncuffed. Might get cuffed. Who knows? Buy yourself some cuffs. Get cuffed. Also, too, it's hockey season is right around the corner, man. Yes. This is the best time of the year. We're going to have playoff baseball. We're going to have hockey season. And a really, I would say, to me, I think it's one of the most exciting seasons probably in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Because of one special player.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's here. So
here and ready to go.
And, it's going to be exciting to see how many people show up to that rookie game, Is he playing in that? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see, that's...
they listed it. So I think they're doing back-to-back nights or something like that.
Yeah, they do Friday
was saying,
they do Friday
that he might
Saturday.
not play both games, or he's going to want to play both games. Man, if he plays both games because he wants to, I'm going to be like, yes!
Oh, I think he's like a Yager type. I think he's just that guy that's motivated to,
so too.
You know what I mean? And, his dad passed away or was murdered, whichever you want to say. I don't know. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but it's Russia.
Found.
Who knows what the deal is? To me, it's suspicious, but we're not going to go into that because I don't really know what I'm talking about at all. So I don't want to speculate, especially if the KGB is listening to this. I might.
We can't afford to lose any more internet right now from Putin,
can't
so.
afford. No, my internet is lovely right now. I can't afford to lose any of it. But no, so it's exciting. But before we get all into that, there's plenty to get into. The season coming up, Michkov. Who's he going to play with? News around the league. We'll get to all that in just a few minutes. But first, I think we would be doing everybody a disservice, I think, if it's a hockey podcast, and we just didn't touch on the passing of Johnny Gaudreau and his brother Matthew. Just horrifying, man. Everything that comes out after the fact just breaks your heart even more and more. Like, as a father, I know you have kids, and I have one son, and so Johnny leaves a wife behind, children behind. Matt, I don't think he had a child yet. His wife is pregnant
she was
right
pregnant.
now. Yeah, she's pregnant.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable. And then
the
next day, their sister was supposed to get married. They're both going to be groomsmen. It's just, dude, that's just so horrible. And
what
the whole
devastating story. It's like if somebody was to tell you this and say, "Hey, this bad thing happened, but guess what makes it even worse?" And it just keeps snowballing into something worse.
And it gets worse every single piece of information you hear. It's just more devastating and more it's just terrible for the family. And by all accounts, I don't know them. From the area, from Jersey, he's younger than me, so I wouldn't have been playing in any circle that he was in, because Johnny Hockey his skill was incredible. So I'm just a dumb high school player. So it's just so bad. And the hockey world, it's cool to see everybody come together in that sense. I think the hockey world is such a niche sport and such a it's weird to say it's a closed community, because you see the violence and stuff on the ice. But, it does come together when stuff like this happens. And, not that anybody gives a damn, but we send our thoughts and prayers out to the Gaudreau family. And I hope that they can get through this. However, I don't know how you do it. But you were on Fox 29. You got to be on Fox 29 and shared your thoughts. And I missed it, so I wasn't able to see it.
That's okay. I missed it. I was asleep too. I just had to record it.
But so just give us your thoughts and what you shared on Fox 29.
Yeah, it was one of those things where I kind of liken it to, in my personal opinion, because I'm a dual city guy. I'm from Los Angeles as well.
Right.
Hearing Kobe, the news about Kobe.
Right.
And I got the exact same feeling. I remember reading on Twitter just the first person saying, "Oh, I'm hearing about this," and I was like, has this Twitter gone downhill that far that I'm reading Johnny Gaudreau is dead?
Right.
And then it got worse and worse. Like you said, it snowballed. But I'm very heavy on the hockey following on my Twitter. And like you said, the response from the small niche community of hockey, like everybody knows everyone. What I told them was he was a local. So obviously being in a small niche sport like hockey, and everybody knows everybody in our area. I had guys on my team who have played either with him or was taught how to skate by his dad, or know somebody who skated with him in like a tournament, or know somebody who was, learned how to skate by skating with his dad, Guy Gaudreau. And you don't have to go very far to find those people. Where I play in Oaks, I know you said you skate there too. He's been to that rink. He's played charity games with them.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of guy he was. And in my opinion, I feel like the one guy in NHL history who was meant to be a Flyer and is never going to be a Flyer, would be him, because he was from here.
Yeah,
and
it was a shame.
Wanted to come.
It was a shame that he didn't get to come here. I think if the situation was different, if things kind of played out a little differently years ago, and the situation was right for him, a 30-year-old at $10 million, it was tough for the Flyers to do that at that time. And if things were just a little different, one one kind of move, one kind of draft pick differently,
Hmm.
everything might change. And you honestly,
Yeah.
you think about how weird butterfly effects are, right? Like if the Flyers pick a different player and he
Hmm.
pans out a little bit better, doesn't get hurt, doesn't twist an ankle, Nolan Patrick doesn't have concussion issues.
Hmm.
What does that mean for Johnny? Johnny might come here, might not be in the same
I
spot he
know.
was. You know what I mean? And so you
It's
think
always
about
a
all
rough
those
game
things.
to play too.
It's a
Yeah.
tough game.
And then let's not even forget Maddie, his brother, who
Mhm.
was I think 2 years younger than him. I think Maddie was 29 and Johnny was 31. Uh, Maddie also being from the area, obviously has brothers. Other people, friends of mine, have played with Maddie.
Right.
And I almost feel like what's being unnoticed is, or if I don't know if anybody knows this, but Maddie actually played for the Reading Royals too.
Yeah, that's
So
correct. He
like
did.
he ended up playing locally, and I'm sure that was an amazing feeling. I'm sure he had friends in the crowd every single night playing for the Royals, you know?
Right. Nah,
So
it's such a sad. I mean, and
yeah,
I'm getting depressed now just talking
I
about it.
know.
I don't know
And
the
like you said,
family.
like
Good.
you said, I don't know the family. My heart breaks for them. I know their kids, Johnny's kids are gonna grow up without their dad, and
Mm-hmm.
Maddie's baby is gonna be born without a dad. It's just
That's
heartbreaking hearing
terrible.
that.
That's terrible.
So
Um,
definitely thoughts and prayers to all of them, and heart goes out. And I do want to mention the one thing real fast because we are in hockey, and let's not beat around the bush. A drunk driver killed two people,
exactly.
humans.
Yep.
Doesn't matter if they're famous, doesn't matter if they're rich. Killed two humans on a bike. Man, Bundy, Chris Terrian has, you know, his organization for people
Mm-hmm.
who need help. So figure it out, guys, because what we're doing now ain't working.
And
Reach out to someone.
I'll tell you this: as someone, and look, I'll admit it, I haven't done it in a really, really long time because I'm 43 years old now, and I think that I've, matured enough to not do that. But there have been times in my life where I've been really drunk and driven,
Hmm.
and that could happen to anybody.
Yeah.
Now, the guy that unfortunately had that mistake happen to him, uh, seems unremorseful, at
Yep.
best.
Oh, I'm gonna be
Um,
stuck here till Tuesday.
Yeah, that's something else. But you think it can't happen to you on both ends, right? It can't happen
Hmm.
to you if you're walking down the street to get killed that way, but also
Yep.
you can ruin your life. And situations like this really drive that point home because it
Yeah.
can happen to literally anybody. Like you
Yep.
could be looking down at your phone and kill people. So it's one of those things that you just have to, yeah, you feel for the family, and at the same time, look inside introspectively and find out, like, listen, I can learn something from this tragedy too, and I hope somebody does, and I hope I hope
Yep.
a lot of people just take a second and
Yep.
kind of think about their decisions next time,
Yeah.
and
And
these
then for
things,
everybody else,
right, and you have to
hug your
learn.
kids, hug your
Right.
loved ones.
Right. And you have to learn from other people's mistakes. And this is just a great opportunity to do that. I think that, if Johnny legacy is anything, it's hockey, but it's also, listen, change your life a little bit if you're struggling.
Yeah.
Bundy has, Chris Therien has that addiction. I don't know if it's like a kind of like an addiction
Yeah, it used
kind
to be a
of,
recovery program,
right.
but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think he's
Yeah.
reached out to open that umbrella more. I think more with addiction all around, as in just
Correct.
recovery.
So, and if
Yeah.
you go on to Chris Terrian's Twitter, it's Therian, I believe.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
So Chris Terrian, all his information is out there. So if you just go on Twitter and search Chris Terrian, you can get all that information. I wish I did some more research. I know you know a
Yeah, I
little
just
bit.
thought of it on.
I know,
Yeah.
and I'm glad that you brought that up. I wish I did a little bit more research to have some more information. But yeah. So if you obviously he's always tweeting and
If you
there's
can't find him and you're watching us, reach out to one of us. We'll get you the
sure
info.
we'll get you. Yeah, for sure. So rest in peace, Johnny. Rest in peace, Matt.
Yep.
And again, thoughts and prayers to the family. But listen, we got a hockey season upon us. I know,
We do.
Ace, you went out of your way, and I can't believe you did all this work, dude. If you were thinking, like, look, I'll do a podcast with you all day, every day, no problem.
Yeah.
You want me to do the analytic work that you did the past, what, 3 weeks?
2.5 weeks, yeah.
Jeez. So we're going to stretch this out
Yeah, to
because
make it seem like 2.5 weeks of work.
Ace did a lot of work, and I don't want to just like blow through this because that I would be upset if I were him, and if I were you. If I did all this work and we were just like, oh, that's cool. Oh, moving on. No, that would be terrible.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let's not do that.
Good
Let's,
job for 30 seconds.
Hey, yeah. Oh, great. 3 weeks of your life wasted. Awesome. Thanks a lot, brother. That was awesome. So, all right. So you got to pose the question that you posed to me earlier today. We talked about this earlier.
Yep.
And I gave you an answer, and I'll give it to you again. But what's the issue? What's the reason you did this?
So the reason I did this was because I was pondering at work why we are the way we are as a hockey
Why
team.
are we awful?
Yeah. So, and I was like, oh well, we can't draft. That's why we never hit with our draft. And then
That's a
I was
good
like,
point.
all right, am I being a little crazy? Am I flying off the deep end? Am I just tunnel vision all Flyers? I do like other NHL teams too. So, and I do like following prospects. So I don't just follow the Flyers. But for some reason, I was like, thought to myself, like, I'm just losing my mind. The Rangers suck at it just as bad as we do, or whatever team you could think of.
Well, what I
So
said to you earlier was, I thought that basically everybody's kind of in the same boat. But the good teams and the teams that you'll see at the top of the league all the time, they just hit on those top picks that they have. Like,
Correct.
Yep.
Yep.
And then you'll see like a fifth round. Like where was Pasta? He was late, right?
Pasta was in the first round, but he was like a 29th overall pick.
Right.
But like Kucherov in a third.
That's I think I was going more for Kucherov, but even Pasta, like a great player who was picked late in the first round. You don't necessarily see that all the time.
20-something other teams skipped on him.
Right. And so my thought process on this was, yeah, we got unlucky. Maybe we didn't get unlucky with Nolan Patrick, but that was the draft where you got lucky. You moved up from like 13 to 2.
I'm so glad
never happens. I know, and he's setting me up. He's setting me up. I can see it in his face. You're setting me up, and everything that I'm saying is wrong, and I'm gonna be sad. But no, this is good stuff. So it was my theory that it just hinges on maybe a good first round pick, and then you got lucky later in the rounds. But
right?
Now you're gonna tell me that I'm the worst. I have no idea.
All right.
What I'm talking about.
So let me preface this. So what I did was I went back to 2013, the Hextall era, and I used that draft as the starting point. And what I did was I only looked at the first round picks for every team till 2019. So I plotted them all down, and the way I tallied this was if they've ever played up to 82 games, which is one full season, whether that's in their career or whatever, it didn't matter. Yeah. So if you didn't play 82 games in the NHL, I put you on the bust list, okay? Like major bust. On that bust list, I've also added players who have since retired since being drafted in 2013. Players that don't play in I'll say North America. They're in the K or Europe or something like that. Or they're retired or not playing anymore. All right? So those are the categories. Or if they're in an all-star game also on the higher level. So I went from 2013 all the way through, tallied them all up to try and see which team, in my opinion, looked the best with scouting and developing, and which teams had the most busts. All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready in the sense that I'm ready to take my comeuppance. I'm gonna get proven wrong, and I'm fine being wrong. So I'm excited for this. So go ahead.
Out of all of the draft picks, just in the first round, 2013 and 2019, there are 6 teams out of all of them with at least one player in the bust category. Okay? And the Flyers are one of them.
Of course, yeah.
I will go through the teams for you real quick. I'm going to try and do this without losing you, okay? First one is Carolina. Believe it or not.
Wow.
Since 2013, they've only had one bust, and as of now, it's Rich Suzuki, who was drafted in 2019. So, preface that with he's still kind of young and he could still work out.
Yeah.
So, the next team was Colorado. Believe it or not.
God.
They missed in 2014 on Connor Breakley, who I've never heard of.
Mm-mm.
But like you said, they got lucky and got whoever they have now. This next one is interesting. It is Minnesota, and their only miss is in 2018 when Chuck Fletcher picked some guy named Paul Johansson.
Oh, Chucky.
So he's never played in the NHL. Not a game. He plays in Europe. Then, the only other team on here besides the Flyers was, of all teams, Tampa Bay. They missed on one player, and that is Bach. I don't even know his first name, but he was drafted in 2018. So maybe still some time for him.
I think it's actually Johann Sebastian.
Ah, yes.
Oh, no, that's the composer. Never mind.
No, he's definitely not playing in the NHL anymore.
He's playing something, but he's not playing in the NHL. That's correct. I'm sorry.
That's all right. R.I.P. All right. So the drum roll for the Flyers, who are obviously on the list. They are the only team in the NHL since 2013 to not have one, but not have two, but, wait for it, not have three.
Oh, no.
4 busts not in the NHL anymore. 4 of them. I knew you were going to depress me. Sam Morin, injured, never playing again.
That's because look, this is what happened. This is why.
Oh man, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring that up.
That's why.
That's depressing.
$175 for the Sam Morin 55 jersey.
Well, you know what? You should feel good. You know why? Of all 4 players, he actually played in the NHL for a decent, game or two.
Right.
Has a goal and is still in the organization. Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. It's still in the organization.
So you got lucky. If you're going to get one of those 4 players, then that's probably the one to go with.
Correct.
Definitely don't go with German Rubtsov, the 2016 pick. He's no longer in the NHL and didn't stick around at all. Followed by Nolan Patrick, which we all know and love. And last on the list is everybody's favorite high school all-star, Jay O'Brien. Those are your 4 complete absolute misses in the NHL for first-round draft picks. 3 more than every other team, and one of those other teams was a Chuck Fletcher draft pick.
He's got his stamp all over the place on that. And
so we'll go with 4.5.
Yeah. Jeez.
Thoughts?
It's well, I'm depressed, number one. It's shocking to see really good teams up in the top there with the Flyers. Mm-hmm. It just, I don't know, man. It just seems that
how do you miss that many times in the first round? And some of those were high picks. I mean, obviously with high picks, one was second overall.
Well, I'll say this. I think the Snyder death really changed this organization for the worse. And now that they've realized it and kind of try to get back to where it was and the kind of organization that it was. Because I think up until that point, like the 2010 stuff was good. They developed a bunch up into the mid 2010s. You know what I mean? They did do well.
I checked because I was going to start before the Hextall era because I wanted to prove, more, but there were less teams and no salary cap and wasn't even worth it. Right.
And I just think, I don't know. It's been a bad run for sure, but I just think that it came from the top, right? And it has come from the top. And I think we've discussed this every time we talk about, the new management and all that. We discuss like how how just mismanaged it was when you have a change in the kind of direction and the whatever the fundamental, what's the word? Fundamental kind of like thought process of an entire organization just flip flop. And when did Mr. Snyder die?
I should actually know that. I feel like it was 2015.
Hold on, let me. So I think that the day that happened.
Absolutely. I'm 100% with you on that, because I think that Hextall came in there and was like, all right, Snyder's not here anymore. I need to carry on that legacy. I need to be that person to continue this, and we're going to almost change it without knowing we're changing it, if that makes sense. Like, he wanted to put his footprint or his fingerprints all over the Flyers organization like Snyder did. Right. And he went too far thinking he was going to be right with everything.
Right. So it was April 11th, 2016, actually. On that
was close, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty close. But so since then, and honestly, you think, and this is what happens when you get older, like an older gentleman like I am. A wiser pop. You think 2016 was like just like yesterday? It was almost a decade ago.
It was.
And a lot of things can go wrong in a decade, and they have. There's been some good moments. There's been some, definitely more downs than ups, but it all started there.
Yeah.
And I think now that you see the direction that the organization is going in, and like I said, we've talked about it a million times, it has to start from the top, and Hilferty's, I think, one of the best people to do it. He's been impressive since he started.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Even with the off the ice stuff. Not just in front of the cameras, you know what I mean? Like,
well, that was Snyder's entire thing.
Yeah.
It's not about, anybody can be that person in front of a camera. But people see through the nonsense, and players see through the nonsense, and fans definitely see through the nonsense, because
they have that feeling that the fans and the players have the same feeling for the ownership together. That's the thing they share that connection with.
Because it's clear. Like, when you went down there, and like, I don't, like, look, the gritty thing, fine.
It's cool for the kids,
it's
whatever.
Cool,
yeah.
But, like, it went away. It started to stray so badly from what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
I think people in Philly and fans that of the team forget how, like, much of a legacy they really do have. Yeah. And, it's if you go outside the country, the Flyers are a name.
Yeah.
The Flyers are
If you
something.
say it, they know what you mean.
They know what you mean.
Yep.
Orange and black, Broad Street Bullies, all that. I know that's like...
And it's frustrating to all you know what that the face of this franchise was a nuclear Muppet for 6 years.
It still almost is. Until Michkov takes the ice, it still is right now.
Hopefully, yeah, there you go.
Maybe and listen, and I'm not saying, look, I'm not even going to say what you think. You know what I'm going to say, right?
I don't know if I want to know.
I'm just going to hold this up. You know what I'm going to say, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I almost sent the jerseys in to get the 39 on it. I'm not doing it.
No.
Nope.
Dude, I thought the same thing. I wanted to buy a jersey so bad, and I was like, I'm not going to do it.
Nope. Let him play the first season. I'll do it next season. I told my son Corbin, I'm like, yo, I'm going to get the 39 on there. And I'm like, dude, we made this mistake already. I'm looking at 55 Moran right now. Like, no, we're not doing that. So I decided, I made an executive decision. Give me the jerseys back. I'm not putting the 39 on there. And I don't even know where we are now because I was too busy.
Well, I was going to say, I'm in the same boat as you with that because I thought the same thing. And Michelle and I went to the Blink concert in the former Wells Fargo Center, whatever
by the way,
calling it today.
Before you start, I was told today, and this is upsetting. You want to talk about upsetting? You want to talk about buying a 55 jersey and having the kid blow out 2 ACLs back to back after you buy the jersey and feeling like it's your responsibility? Let me tell you something. I heard somebody go, a younger girl today, go to a Creed concert, and she says to somebody, yeah, I went to this oldies show, and I was like,
right in the heart, right in the heart.
Oldies, dude. Like, think about when you were a kid, people were like oldies, and And the oldies were like
Led Zeppelin.
no,
Or
no, no,
even Van Halen.
worse than that, like the
Oh, like
Beatles.
oldies.
Yes, like WOGL FM. How are you, everybody? Here's and She Loves You by the Beatles, everybody.
And she loves you,
Yeah.
Help! I need
I
somebody.
need somebody help. All right, anyway,
We came on here wanting to do a Creed impression, and somehow we became Paul McCartney.
we came
and
Paul
John
McCartney
Lennon.
and John Lennon. That's fine. You're George Harrison, I think. Honestly, I'll be Ringo.
Oh. Well,
Anyway.
sometimes my guitar gently weeps.
So,
It weeps a lot.
it's as Flyers fans, we've been weeping for so long.
Ugh.
So you're at the Blink concert. Where were we going with this?
Nowhere. Honestly, we were going nowhere. But what I was gonna say was
He was
I
at the Blink concert. Tom
and I
DeLonge
was
saw
gonna-
some UFOs. It was
Yeah.
a
Oh,
wild
yeah.
scene.
He was right. I was wrong. What can I say? Anyway, yeah, I went to
small things.
I was gonna buy a Michkov jersey while I was there, and
Don't you do
they
it.
were closed. They were
Okay.
closed. I was
That's
like, oh,
Thank God. We just dodged the bullet. That AC, his AC is going to be just fine now.
yep.
His ACL, I'm sorry. Yeah, so we're not doing that. We're not going to jinx it. We got a lot of positivity going on right now. This is the most positive I've ever felt about a team. Look, I don't know what the
That's
season's
because you
gonna-
blasted Creed on the way home, didn't you?
I did.
Shoving your face full of tacos.
Dude, I was on the way home, and I told you this when I was going to do it, and I did it, and it felt amazing. I'm driving through like a semi-populated area, just sunroof, windows down, sunroof open. Can you take me high? I'm like, dude, this is great. I felt like I was in an IROC. I was just,
Oh, yeah.
I needed a mustache.
Oh my God.
Because it's the
Yep.
oldies. That's what
Yeah.
when I was growing up in the 90s, that's what the oldies were like the 70s, like Creedence Clearwater Revival. John Fogerty.
John Fogerty. No, man. Scott Stapp is oldies.
Scott Stapp is the new
Is the new
John
oldies.
Fogerty. Is the new John
Yeah.
Fogerty. He's new Elvis.
Oh my gosh.
He's the king.
This is insane.
How did we get
This
on
isn't
this? We went from Matvey Michkov to Scott Stapp.
Scott Stapp.
Scott Stapp does not play hockey, sir. He does sing. He's got a
He
beautiful
doesn't play
set of
hockey?
pipe.
I thought
Does
he played hockey.
Does he?
I don't know. Isn't he Canadian? You
Yeah, but
gotta
that
think
doesn't-
he plays hockey if he's Canadian.
Is he? I don't know what he is. I think he just was.
I made that up. I pulled that
honestly,
out of my ass. I don't know.
honestly, in my
I thought he
head,
was Canadian.
Honestly, to me, Scott Stapp was just beamed down from Mars. He was living on Mars, and they just sent him to us.
All right, Tom DeLone. Get
Well,
back to
you
the
know,
Blink
sometimes-
concert.
Sometimes you gotta go. Hey, Tom. Hey, hashtag Tom was right.
Yeah, Tom was right.
Tom was right. Gotta apologize to the man. He was right the whole time. All right.
Oh my God.
That's an,
This.
it went off.
He's
the-
American.
It went off. the
He's
rails.
American.
All
He
right, so
doesn't
who do you-
play hockey. He's not Canadian.
So who do you want Matvey Michkov to play with on a line? Let's get back to hockey. So all right, so here's the thing. So here's our options, right? I saw this on a Twitter poll recently. I don't know who posted it. I'm sorry. I would give you the credit, but I don't know.
It was James
who.
Barsky posted the poll about who he should center.
Did he?
or who should
Okay.
center.
Jamie
right?
Barska. So yeah, I think so. So thank you to you for this content. So it was the options were there were two options. Two, Coots, Forster, Michkov, or Tippett, Frost, obviously centering Michkov. You go first, I'll tell you, and then I'll tell you why you're wrong.
Okay. I'm gonna tell myself why I'm wrong. Actually, I want Frost centering Michkov. I don't want Tippett on his wing though. I want either Forrester or TK playing
Okay.
as the opposite side.
I don't necessarily hate it. I don't hate it, but
Yeah.
I disagree.
Yeah, because you see the mistakes Frost makes are because he's thinking ahead of the play and he wants somebody with a high hockey IQ. That's why him and Tippett look so good together.
Right.
So he needs somebody with a high hockey IQ, and no one, honestly, in the NHL probably has a higher one right now than Michkov. So
Possibly.
possibly.
Here's
well,
my
one
yeah.
McJesus.
McJesus. Here's my thoughts on this. And I don't necessarily disagree with you. I think they would be good together. So I'm not going to say that you're completely wrong. But I think that they have a terrible contract in Coots. A horrible contract right now.
Yeah.
As it stands today, he hasn't played. He's been injured. He started off strong last season. You still have him for 7 more years? The contract will get better and better and better, but he's still signed, right? So you need for the next 3 years, you need him to be a productive player, a good player. While I agree, look, Frost can play with anybody. He's going to be his own guy. He's a wheeler. He's a dealer. He is who he is. So let's just keep him there. Keep him with Forster. I'm sorry, with Tippett. Whatever you want to do. But I don't care who's on the other wing. What I care about is I need Coots to be Coots. I need Sean Couturier to be that player for the next 3-4 years. So that contract doesn't look awful as it does right now. So I think sticking him, and to me, this has the Torts kind of thought process behind it. Could be wrong. Who knows? We'll find out how it goes. But I feel like you put the kid with a vet that is defensively responsible, that needs a boost. And I think that boost is number 39. I think it's going to be beneficial for both people because you need that center to be unbelievable. You need him to be good. You need him to return to form. And I think that, giving him that outlet and giving a guy just like that, because you saw when Giroux played with my favorite thing, and I was upset that they got rid of Yager. Because I'll tell you why. I think that Yager made everybody. It was Yager, Giroux, and Hartnell, I believe. Yeah, and Hartnell and Giroux. I don't know what the numbers were. It might have been a good season for them both. I'm pretty sure it was. It might have been Giroux's 100-point season.
It could have been. You might be right.
I think it was
2017.
The year he did it against the
Go ahead,
Rangers.
talk. I'll look it up.
Yeah. So it might have been that, but whatever it was, he was such a puck possession guy that it opened up everybody else. You can have that guy. That guy is so important. If you have a guy like that can protect the puck down low, it opens up everybody, and especially like real skilled people. You don't even have to be that skilled. You just got to know where to go. Coots is one of those guys. Michkov can definitely control the puck, even if he's not a big guy, but he's a thicker guy. He's in the gym now, and he's got a work ethic. He's 19.
He can definitely protect the puck. That's for
100%. And so I think that like if you have somebody, it's beneficial for both people, right? You get the young kid with a vet, because I don't want him learning off from Frost. I don't. I want him to be with somebody like that. You know what I mean? Where it's like, all right, you've got a solidified guy that can play. Like, can he skate now? Is he hurt? Probably. Who knows? Hopefully he comes back 100% and we see what, we'll move forward there. But I think that, you put the kid, look, if he's 23, 24, then you put him with Frost.
Yeah. That makes sense. And I'm going to tell you right now that you're right, but it's not because I agree with you.
Let's just stop right there. Ace admits it. You heard it. It's all good. No, what's up?
Think of the optics it would give. I don't know, maybe Torts is going to use this for his advantage at firing Coots up or something like that as well, but like think of the image you're putting out there. If the new shiny toy you get that's supposed to be the next best thing doesn't play with your so-called number 1C / your captain on the same line, that's not going to look good. So you're probably right, because they're going to start it off like that. And you know what? To be honest, they probably should, for all those reasons that you said. On top of that, like, we need to know what Coots is. And if he can't work out with a talent like that, you know what I mean? So I think you're almost obligated to do it.
Yeah, and that's how I'm going into it with, or how I'm looking at it. It's like you can't have the kid play just with anybody. Frost hasn't
Yeah.
proven anything. Listen, Frost is
No.
skilled. I last year I came around on him a little bit. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? He's had some moments, and all right, this year, and like we said, this year is his prove it year,
Yeah.
I think, and I would just feel better, especially at least for the first half of the year.
Yeah.
Put a guy that you have so much stock in. Don't mess around. Just put him with the vets. Let him play with Coots. Let him learn the game. Let him learn the ice, the surface. I know he's played on that surface, but he's also not played on it 100% of the time.
Yeah.
So let's just see what he can do with a vet. And like I said, it's a mutual kind of beneficial thing. You've got a guy who's trying to return to form, and you got a kid that's trying to learn the game. And so I think, if you have both of those things simultaneously going together, I think it's just beneficial for everybody. I think that Torts, I know he's a smart hockey guy, clearly smarter than me, but I don't know. I think that's kind of what his thought process will be. At least I hope it'll be.
And so who are you putting on the other side out of curiosity?
Forster's fine.
Forster,
shooter. Yeah, Forster.
Yeah.
Because, listen, you want that shot, right? And we've been talking about the aspect of Forster's game that needs to come to fruition is the quick release, the one-timer. If he can do that, you're looking at 40, 45 goals.
I really do want Forster and Michkov together.
You have to have it.
Their hockey IQs are so high.
Dude, it's silly.
I mean, you might see a Coots, Michkov, Forster just based off of IQ in general.
And if
that would be an absolute killer line if Coots was 80% of what Coots could be.
So you think about it this way, right? So you got Coots, who's great defensively, Selke winner already. Forster, in his own right, can play in his own end.
He got votes for the Selke.
And he's still young.
Mm-hmm.
You put those two together, you're solid defensively. The kid can just wheel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're good. Yeah, you can play some D.
You could be free to be you.
Yes. And we've talked about it before. You've made this point before. The Flyers have been playing a certain style in preparation for what's going to happen now. They've been playing that style because, guess what? That's Michkov's style. They've been learning the style for the kid that's going to be their cornerstone. So they already know the style. They've already played it. Now he's here, and now let's go.
I also want to point out another thing on the lines of the Michkov thing. We're really sleeping on Jamie Drysdale. I know people think he's constantly hurt, which he is hurt. If he stays healthy, man, Drysdale's the game changer for the team. Michkov is going to only reap the benefit of a puck-moving, smooth-skating defenseman.
Yeah.
And Drysdale could be an absolute Shane Gostisbehere in the defensive zone, and if he's putting up 70 points like Carlson in 3 years, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, listen, I was excited about the acquisition for sure.
Yeah.
He's got to stay
Sleeper.
healthy. He's got to stay healthy.
Sleeper.
It
Gotta
is
stay
what it
healthy.
is. He's
Yeah,
got
he's
all the
gotta stay
talent in the
healthy.
world. When you've seen him play, it's been good. Look, Cam York's made strides too, so that's good. You're developing these kids as they're playing. Cam York is just a worker. He's in the gym all the time, so good on him. And
I've liked him
see.
more and more and more. I don't want to give any Chuck Fletcher credit here.
No, you can't, because look, Chuck will do good things. It's not anybody like you and I.
Yeah, a blind squirrel gets a nut every now and then. You're right.
Buddy,
I mean,
you and I
Kirill Kaprizov, he got him.
Yeah, well, you and I can make a pick. You know what I mean? He was captain of Team USA Junior, so it's not like he
doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't like some kid that was off the streets. He didn't. It was a good pick. We'll see, man. I'm a big Drysdale fan. I enjoy the kid's game. I just, look, he's an undersized guy, and get in the gym, work your way up, and we'll see how it goes. Skill is there, obviously.
Yeah.
But you also need to be available. That's that stupid ass saying, which I hate the saying. Is,
it's so cliche to be like, oh, you gotta be.
Is availability. It's like, all right, we got you. Shut up. But it's true.
All the cliches.
Right. If you're, got to get pucks down deep. Get it behind the D.
Get it deep.
Yeah, get it deep. Come on, boys. Get pucks on net, boys. Come on. What are we doing here?
Work hard.
Work hard. Yeah, muck and grind.
Come there, Chase.
But I mean, like, yeah. So look, all the talent in the world. I'm a huge Drysdale guy, like I said, and we'll see if it pans out. I hope it does. Fingers crossed. I loved getting him for Cutter,
Yeah,
or Quitter, whatever you want to call it,
quitter.
Quitter Gauthier. And that's what we need to talk about too. We brought this up earlier. Well, actually, off the podcast is now Kolosov. He's on the roster.
I was just looking this up.
Kolosov, if you're not familiar, is a young goalie prospect. Played a couple games for the Phantoms last year. Was kind of thinking or rumored to be going back to the KHL. Listen, Allentown stinks. I get it, but you can put a year in or two just to
More than
get to the
two
NHL.
games, bro.
Yeah, it's 2 games.
Two
I know
games.
you were in a hotel in Allentown. Listen, I've been to Allentown. It's awful, but that's okay. Around the PP&L Center, you're fine. There's a chicken and pizza inside. Just have a crab fry and relax.
Is St. Petersburg that much nicer than
Right, you're in
Allentown?
Russia. Like how? I mean, listen, you're in Russia.
You're in Russia. You can't even get a Big Mac now.
Give it a second. So I don't know. I haven't heard anything up until today. I don't know if you have or seen anything. You said he was on the roster for rookie camp.
Yeah, he's on the roster for rookie camp, and he's on the roster for the rookie game as well. Him and Fedotov, oddly enough. So
yeah, I mean, we'll see.
and he's not on any KHL stuff,
roster,
which the season already has started. Well, the preseason's already started, so.
Look, I saw Zamula and Michkov hanging out in I don't know where they were. They were somewhere, but they were they're hanging. Yeah, it was Colorado, whatever it was. They're hanging out. They're doing well. Getting them acclimated. So, buddy, join the club. Let's go.
For real.
The Russia trio. Go. Talk about Kolosov's game because I don't know too much about it. I mean, I know he's an undersized guy, quick.
Yeah.
But your thoughts on it?
I kind of compare him to what I thought about. Let's pump the brakes, but Bob. When I first saw Bob play, he's got the quick feet, quick legs, flexible, agile. He can go post to post with a blink of an eye, quick glove. But he is smaller on the smaller side, so I think he's even smaller than Bob. So.
And if you see Bob without pads on, ooh boy,
yeah, tiny
that is
man.
a skinny man.
I saw Bob sit right next to me, and I was 2 humans compared to him.
It's wild. So
yeah,
but an unreal goalie. Obviously, Vezina.
Yeah.
Twice Vezina winner, 2 times.
2 times?
2 times.
Yeah, 2-time Vezina winner, 1 time
Vezina.
Stanley Cup, I think, right?
Yeah, no big deal. Got rid of him.
No big deal.
I'm not bitter at all. Not bitter at all.
Definitely shouldn't have cats.
No. So listen.
Ilya Kovalchuk.
Yeah.
Or Ilya Brizgala.
Oh my God. He was entertaining at least.
Lost in the woods. Always lost in the woods.
It's humongous. It's only game. Why you
It's
have
only
to be
game.
mad?
Why you have to be mad?
Why do you have to be mad? It's hockey.
God. Now we're doing horrible Russian accents. It's time to go.
Do you want to do Seinfeld? We can do Seinfeld. You're not a mom.
What's he doing in the woods?
We're not seeing any pictures. That was terrible. I was better. I was better earlier. I was killing.
No, that was
earlier.
good. It sounded better on the earpiece than it did at work.
Yeah. You're not a goalie.
You're not a goalie. What are you trying to do here?
What's the deal with the butterfly? It's not a butterfly. You're saving a puck. All right, that's enough. Now do your Kramer. Jerry.
I don't think you could do it without
Jerry. It's
Jerry.
Butterfly.
You got to get your smooth jazz voice to do him. Jerry.
It's a write-off, Jerry. You don't even know what a write-off is.
You've never done taxes a day in your life.
No, but they do. And they're the
My neighbors are out here like, why is he watching
reading it off.
Seinfeld in the shed? I mean, the studio.
All right. I think that's enough. Once we get the Seinfeld impressions and Kramer impressions, we've got no more content.
We've lost everybody. No one is listening past 49 minutes and 12 seconds.
They might be listening to this specifically. Seinfeld fans, we gotcha. Curb fans, we gotcha. What's the deal with the puck drop pod?
Oh, now we got to get Jerry Seinfeld on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll call him. All right, cool. Listen, what was it? 6, 5, 6, 7, 8?
This is episode 7.
Episode 7.
Six,
Holy
six
Lord.
we deleted. I
6.
deleted. It's long gone. So if anybody wants to hear anything about episode 6, shoot us a text.
Episode 6 is with the it's inside Noah's Ark. So if you can find Noah's Ark, you can listen to episode 6. It actually was really good. We went off the rails and we did some stuff at the end that I thought was pretty funny, but maybe I was wrong. I don't know. But our internet issues were terrible then. Listen, I'll fix them. Like I told you, I have the tools. I just don't have the know-how.
Well, episode 6 was the debut of the Golden Mic.
That was, yes. You have a beautiful mic. That's like 30. First of all, my mic is like $400. Yours is like $29.99. Sounds exactly the same.
It wasn't even that expensive. It was $28.99.
Oh my God. And he did 12 and he did 12 easy payments. That's how cheap he is.
12 easy payments.
12 easy payments. He's going to be paying for that mic. It's a $29 mic. He's going to be paying for it interest free for the next 12 months. What a great it's how
Thanks, QVC.
That mic is helping his credit score right now, which is unbelievable.
Yeah. Was QVC the Amazon before Amazon? Never mind.
It wasn't really.
I'm derailing us more.
It wasn't an Amazon, no. Fun fact, my ex-wife is a model on QVC. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying.
Whoa!
Oh, you didn't know that?
You pulled a model?
Yeah, it was unbelievable, right? I did.
Models
so
are your
she
thing,
was
aren't
on. She was on QVC, and a fun fact: when she would go on the air, I was between jobs, so I got off the radio and I was
mooching off a model.
Mooching off a model. No, I was collecting.
That's our band name.
No, it's 11 minutes to tacos.
Ooh, tacos. Speaking of
30 seconds to Mars. No, 11 minutes to tacos. No, so I'd have to wait outside of QVC and sleep in the car so that she wouldn't get murdered on the way up.
In Paoli.
No, it was Westchester.
It's Paoli.
It's Westchester.
Okay.
But yeah,
it's Chester County.
But yeah, I did well in my early 20s. It was good. Now my relationship history is terrible. You know more than anybody else. But let's stop before we get before we get into trouble. Listen, episode whatever it is, 7, 6, doesn't matter. Hopefully it'll be on Apple. Hopefully it'll be on Spotify. Definitely be on YouTube. I'm working through issues. We're always working through issues, mentally, physically, spiritually, and technology-wise. And so we're doing that. But listen, next time we do this, we'll ramp it up and we'll talk about the season that's upcoming. We'll have some other stuff because we are so close to hockey right now. It's I can feel it. I can feel it
in the air.
Like it's right in my neck. What movie? What movie?
I don't know.
Ace Ventura 2. Come on.
Oh, the darts.
The dart.
The darts.
3 darts is too much. All right. Thanks for listening. We're out of here.